And Tom Brady's final desperation heave landed in the end zone, and the Philadelphia Eagles were finally Super Bowl champions.
I love that story every time. Dreams do come true.
Oh, shit.
What?
These guys are back again.
What?
Expecting us to do the... We're trying to have a book time.
Oh, God damn it.
And they're interrupting. They want us to...
I always like when Uncle Craig reads his stories.
I know, right? All the kids here
He
do.
always reads my favorite one.
I guess you guys want us to review the events of Week 12. Is it Week 12? Yes.
It is Week 12.
In the Tonto's... Well, okay, so welcome to the Tonto's Demise Week 12 recap.
On the road.
On the road. Mobile. I am Springfield Isotopes. Tonto Bowl 2, 8, 9, 15, and 18 champion, I think.
And he got the trophy out of the shed, but I still have not touched it. I fixed it, but I didn't actually have to touch it to fix it. So, good there. And I am Biscuits and Porn, previous Tonto Bowl champion, 2012, under a previous alias.
I think that was Tonto Bowl 10.
Yeah.
I believe.
Anytime I finish last place, we rebrand. So, and since I couldn't make it to the draft this year and show off all my cool merch, I just decided to use it right now. Craig is drinking the official drink of the White Claw Studios down here.
Is that the official name now, White Claw Studios?
It might be, at least for the Tonto's Bowl or the Tonto's Demise weekly recap video.
I know, this is actually pretty nice. Maybe if we could just leave, maybe we'll leave the trophy here, or I could bring it back here, and we could, if either one of us wins, we could just have the event here next year.
I mean, maybe all those Western PA people just need to drive out here, even if you do win.
It's not that far, really.
Yeah.
Especially when you drive out in the middle of the night.
There's plenty of room now for everybody to crash too.
There is.
Once the outside's done, we got the hot tub. We can have that Lincoln draft from the hot tub.
Sally's here, Matt. Sally's here.
Sally will wait on you, possibly. Detling. Nope. She just said no. Sorry.
Never mind.
Never mind.
All right. Why don't we talk about what actually happened here? Some real fantasy football, Week 12. We're at halftime of the Monday night game. All of our matchups are decided already, except for one, which is Gags versus the Dub C Hooligans. Gags already eliminated from playoff contention. Dub C trying to hold on desperately. You ran out of transactions, ran out of trades last week. Apparently you weren't keeping track. That was somebody else's job to keep track of your transaction totals there. And so you had to play without Travis Kelce, an empty tight end spot this week. And looks like that is going to end up being your downfall in a week where, these last couple of weeks where you need wins. And you're playing without, I don't know what you have on bye. There's still bye weeks for the next, the whole regular season. We're going to have people on bye weeks. So maybe, I don't know if, I don't know what I guess you weren't thinking ahead, just thinking about, you're so busy focusing on winning now. Not only did you trade Eli Mitchell away, who scored 30 points this week, you played no tight end this week, you're going to lose, and you're probably traded your way out of the playoffs because of those things. Anyway, you're currently down about 5 points. Gags he's got the Washington quarterback and DK Metcalf, who still actually has 0 currently. So it's a pretty good chance those guys are going to get the 5 points that Gags needs to pull out a victory in this one here. So we will keep you posted as it happens.
All right.
And so I guess, as usual, we always start with the matchup of the defending champion, which is
this guy.
Me.
Yeah.
Springfield Isotopes, trying to clinch a playoff spot here, get better chance at playoffs here, going up against Disco, who was, I believe, was he in the number one?
He was the number one team.
Yes, he was the number one in the standings currently. No longer going to happen. Not anymore. No. Sorry.
They're big shuffle at the top this week, I think.
Yes, we actually had 4 of those teams who were 2 games ahead of everybody else, the top 4. 3 of those 4 lost this week, everybody except for Detling, including this guy here. So
stupid Mark Andrews. We'll talk about that later.
So things are going to get a little bit closer, but you guys are all still at least 1 game ahead of everybody else, with only 2 games to go. But unfortunately, Disco, you're going to drop, and Detling's going to take over first place here. So for the Isotopes, we had Stafford goes for 40. Oh no, he had a long touchdown, so he went for 51 points this week. Devontae Adams, 18.5. Deontay Johnson, also 18.5. T. Higgins, 23.5. Melvin Gordon and Miles Sanders, 10 points for Gordon, 7.5 for Sanders. Dalton Schultz on Thanksgiving goes for 15.5. No CeeDee Lamb that day, no Amari Cooper. So definitely felt the right thing to do was get Schultz in there. Turned out to be pretty good. He got a touchdown. Gesicki in the flex, only 4.7. Nick Folk, who I will say, I'll go on the record and say this. I tried to trade Nick Folk for Justin Tucker, who actually Nick Folk statistically is way better than Justin Tucker this year. And Jay immediately said, no, I will not do that, even though he has 2 kickers on his roster, and said trying to get rid of Folk because he's got a bye week coming up. Would have tried rather make a trade instead of use a transaction there, but Jay immediately said, no. Folk kicked, I think, 5 field goals this week.
Yep, missed one too.
He missed one, so he could have had 6. So you maybe want to reevaluate your decision there. Maybe not been so hasty on that. You just like to have Justin Tucker. And then the Miami Dolphins defense. Yahoo says 29, but I can tell you, for having done it and it being my team, the actual score for the Dolphins defense was 50.
Whew.
50 points.
That's pretty good. It's not last week New England good, but that's pretty good.
It's not. Can always be. So that's over 100 points just from my buns, Stafford, and the Miami defense. One on the top, one on the bottom. And it was way more than enough to get past Disco this week. And I guess we will let you run through Disco's lineup there.
Disco ran into some bye week issues this week, so
he did.
Losing Patty McCombs and Tyreek there the same week.
Yes, I've been looking forward to this matchup for several weeks, Disco, knowing that you weren't going to be having Mahomes and Tyreek.
Luckily, Disco has built himself quite a record this year, so a little mulligan action. He probably saw this coming for a while here, but Daniel Jones at the quarterback spot, 36.1. Odell coming back with 19, not too shabby for him last night. Chris Godwin, 4.7, not a good week for him, or Jerry Jeudy. Jonathan Taylor, though, a down week for Jonathan Taylor, only 19.7, but
Yeah, he was single digits there most of the game. Then I think that very last drive, they fed him a bunch of carries. He got in the end zone there.
It's possible he switched bodies with Leonard Fournette this week, though, because Leonard Fournette, 47.1. Man, that really kept...
They must have done like some sort of Freaky Friday thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that actually helps because we did do a little calculation. I think Disco will hold on to second place by maybe 2 points, I think is what it was.
Something like that.
So even though it was a week where he didn't look like he was going to win, he's still going to hold out on the standings there because those points are going to come in. It's very tight on the points, and it's probably going to come in play.
It's going to be a real dogfight for those 2 bye weeks here with only 2 weeks left to go.
Yeah, and then Darren Waller looks like he got hurt. I think he got hurt on Thursday.
Yes.
And then Mike Williams in Carolina and no kicker. So that vacant kicker always kind of skunks you. But at least the kicker didn't miss anything, so you didn't get negative points.
Fortunately, they did not playing the kicker, trying to preserve your last couple transactions there, but ended up not coming back to haunt you.
A respectable showing by Disco, considering that Tyreek and Patrick Mahomes were not playing. But Craig just blew the doors off you. So it's wizard time of year, He starts to pick up steam. It's like a boulder rolling down the hill. You just get the fuck out of the way. All right.
Gag says it is what it is. So
that it is. You see, what you got? Was that the pineapple White Claw you got in that nice mug there? It smells delicious.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Pineapple.
Yes, I love these mugs. This is my favorite mug.
I know.
Use it every day.
It just enhances the flavor of everything.
That's right. That's right. All right. What's up next? Which one are we going with next?
Well, we'll do gags and Dub C last, so it doesn't really makes no difference. Why don't we?
All right. Well, let's go. Oh, why don't we go with this one? This is a good one to go with next.
All right.
This will be the Hillbillies on PCP versus the Yinzer Jags.
Oh, okay. Let's
You
cue that one up.
Jag-offs.
Battle of the Podcasters once again. Week 1 and Week 12.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see.
I think this one went pretty much the same way it did in Week 1. Yinzer Jags soundly defeats Hillbillies on the PCP, 188.6 to 103.5.
And counting, too, because actually Scary Terry's still playing.
Yes, so we'll see if Detling can break the 200-point barrier before the night is over here. All right, so what do we got for... So far, we got for Yinzer Jags. He had Josh Allen go for 50.5 points. DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, and Jacoby Myers. Where are you getting all these guys? These guys weren't on your team last week. DJ Moore, 14.5. Terry McLaurin currently has 4 points at halftime. Third quarter looks like. Myers, 14.5. 2 running backs, Eckler and Pollard. Eckler gets you 22 points, and you played Pollard. I'm not really sure. I guess you had some bye week issues, some injury issues. A little bit short on running backs there. And fortunately for you, Pollard scored a kick return touchdown. So that was 9 points of his 16 right there. Kittle, only 2.3. And a big one here, again, Kevin Bean, we're looking at you. Eli Mitchell, what are you doing, man?
30 points.
30
Yikes.
points
Ugh.
for Josh Jacobs.
He's not. Jacobs is hurt, isn't he? Is he even playing?
Jacobs is always hurt.
Yeah,
but
it's
Eli
just-
Mitchell was not drafted. You could have kept him for 2 more years in the 15th round. He looks like he's going to be the guy on a team that loves to run the ball.
Well, I guess we know that the Yinzer Jags can replace that Eckler keeper with 15th round Eli Mitchell.
Exactly. You set him right up to replace Eckler, who he won't have next year, with Eli Mitchell. He scored 30.8. Zerline got you about 6. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, Yahoo says 18. I don't know what the actual score was. I think it was closer to 30, something like that. Not exactly sure. Here, looking at it now, what the bump was from what Yahoo says. But anyway, McLaurin's up to 7 now, so you're up to 191. And just adding insult to injury here to your fellow podcaster, Hillbillies on PCP.
Yeah, there's not much to say about that. Ooh, there's a lot of single digits on that side.
A lot.
Joe Burrow, 37.3. Debo, 20.8.
And now he's hurt.
And he's
Debo's
also hurt.
now. They're using him as a running back for some reason.
Yeah. Cole Beasley, 9.6. Tyler Boyd, 3.3. Najee Harris didn't even show up. I don't think he even showed up this week. 6.7.
I don't think any of the Steelers.
Stevenson, Stevenson, 4.6. Hawkinson, 12.5 on Thanksgiving. Jones, 2.7. Joseph with 1. That must have been some misses there. What's going on over there? 2 PATs made, 1 missed. So
Not going to get it done.
26 points, but no field goals. And then the Steelers defense. You guys out there in Western PA probably watched that game, so you aren't even going to tell you what happened there. So he had some bye week issues.
Yep, Kamara on the bench again.
Kamara's hurt. Zach Ertz on the bye. He's been coming on strong. And then just like goodness, like the back half of his roster is all IRs.
It's medical ward there. The infirmary.
Yep. So
good news is Dalvin Cook's out for a couple weeks. You got Madison on your bench. You can plug him in.
Yep.
I'm sure people are going to be throwing last-minute trade offers at you for Madison, so we'll see what happens here in these next few days when before the trade deadline ends. just a few days from now.
Yep. All right.
So that's going to put Yinzer Jags. Said he was the only team in the top of the standings there who won this week, so he's going to be alone in first place. And unfortunately, he is going to be bookended by Hillbillies on PCP, who's going to be at the bottom of the standings once again, getting warmed up for that Phillip Rivers jersey next year.
All right. Let's go right up here. How about we do Possum Magic and Saquon It Ain't So, who doesn't even have Saquon on his team.
That's true. We can do that. Or Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't have Andrew Luck on his team either. Possum Magic needed this one to keep pace with those guys at the top. Unfortunately, he was not able to do it. Saquon It Ain't So is going to hold on and keep his season alive with a victory, 185.75. He's currently got Tyler Lockett going. This matchup already decided because Possum Magic is through. So currently 185.75 to Possum Magic's 154.7. So on Thanksgiving there, Dak goes for 64 points. So I don't know if you're still going back and forth on Aaron Rodgers or Dak every week, but as I think I said before, you got Dak. You're not starting anybody else as long as you have him. Even though you got Aaron Rodgers, also put up 60 points this week. Your receivers: Emmanuel Sanders, Hunter Renfrow, and Tyler Lockett currently going. Sanders about 6 points. Renfrow 21.5. Big game for him. Lockett is currently at 12.5. Your running backs: Henderson and Foreman from the Titans, replacing Derrick Henry till he comes back. You're keeping your fingers crossed, praying that you get into the playoffs, and they bring Derrick Henry back. He comes back just in time to maybe put you on his back and carry you to the Tonto Bowl title. But I don't think that he's going to be back in the even the NFL regular season.
No, I think they said January.
It's not going to be till.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
And now the Titans look like they might not even make the playoffs the way that they're playing now.
It's true.
All right. Anyway, Darrell Henderson and Foreman, 17.5 for Henderson, 13.2 for Foreman. Pitts, only 4.5 points.
That is the Pitts. Yeah.
Ooh,
whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened here. In the flex, he played Corey Davis, even though he was out this week.
Dodged a bullet there.
Yes, you absolutely dodged one there, especially in a week where you need to win because your season is potentially on the line here for a playoff spot. You had a bunch. It was in the flex here, so you had a bunch of people. You could have thrown in anybody. Bolden or Freiermuth. Kind of surprised. You seem to like Freiermuth there. You didn't throw him in. But Davis got you a 0. Tucker got you about 12 or 13. And then the Baltimore Ravens defense, Yahoo says 15. We probably bumped you up to like 20, 25, somewhere in the low 20s, I'm going to guess. But anyway, so you still got Tyler Lockett going, but Possum is done, and you have already locked up the win here.
Yeah, and looking at Possum's roster here, he's got 3 quarterbacks, 2 on the bench, and either one of those choices, well, actually 3 on the bench. He's got Russell Wilson
He's
too.
got 4 quarterbacks.
But Mac Jones and Carson Wentz would have each given you enough points to, it'd be pretty close because you take 10 off, add 50, you'd be up by about 9 points right now on Monday Night Football with.
Yeah, this one will be much more interesting.
Right. So, but you didn't. You played Scam Newton. He's scamming the Panthers out of money. He got benched on his third game back. He's already benched, so that's going well.
Yep.
At least he looks good.
Appreciated the Dolphins defense there.
Yeah.
Cam's contributions to the Miami Dolphins defense this week.
Going down the roster, though, Adam Thielen with a big week, 23.2. Stephon Diggs, 20 points. Moore had 9.3. I think that was the trade with Yinzer Jags.
You traded away Scary Terry.
Yeah. Joe Mixon, the big day, 35.3 against those Steelers. Harris, 12 points. Gronk back in action, 19 points there. Nick Chubb, 5.9. 3 points from your kicker, 10 points from your defense. Probably a little bit more than that. They won.
It was probably closer to 20.
So, but yeah, I mean,
those 10 points from Cam Newton really
yep,
sealed the deal.
That is a
on
killer
this matchup. That's
all right. You got time to work that out. You got 3 other quarterbacks, so you can just drop them. You don't have to worry about that decision anymore.
Yeah, you're in a good spot for a playoff.
So, and then he's got Logan Thomas actually on IR, and he was activated tonight, so we know that he will be back in action. And then you can mess with him and Gronk. That should be fun. So
I'm trying to figure out why you traded Scary Terry. I'm going to guess Elijah Moore was probably undrafted. So I'm assuming you're planning on keeping maybe Elijah Moore as a potential keeper and getting rid of Terry since he will have to go back into the draft pool next year. But I know Moore's kind of been coming on lately, but still, like that quarterback situation in New York, I would think I would rather have Terry McLaurin, even though they're playing Heineke at this point, over whoever the Jets toss out there to throw passes each week.
Yep, and that looks like, based on current standings, that Possum's going to stay in the 4th spot. And Saquon Ain't So actually should jump up to 7th, assuming that the Gags and Dub C matchup goes in favor of Gags. He will have the points advantage over Dub C.
Yeah, he's going to leapfrog there, Dub C.
Yep.
This week.
So he's knocking on the door. But all right.
Yeah. So Saquon, you're going to be 5-7 now. If you can win those last 2 weeks, you have a decent chance at perhaps squeaking out one of those final 2 playoff spots. Not if I have anything to say about it, but we will see what happens here.
Yeah, who's he got? He plays. He plays CMC Music Factory with music stopped there. So, and then he plays
Hillbillies.
Oh, no, he's got 2 very winnable games. So
there you go. So, very possible Saquon gets himself back up to 7-7. So
yeah.
Justin and Brian, we're looking at you guys.
Yeah, come on.
Take him down with you.
All right. Well, since we're talking about, let's just go right up here to next one. Ed Lager and the CMC Music Factory.
This one. This was a snooze fest, a yawner. Not much going on in this matchup. Let's see, losing CMC once again. Justin, I'm fairly certain Christian McCaffrey will be dead to you from this day forward. Ed Lager also was 4-7, I believe, just below Saquon and just above CMC in the standings here. Going to get a win, going to move up to 5-7. Still got a chance to, if you can win those last 2 games. You're kind of trailing pretty far in the point totals, though. So, but again, get to 7-7, see what happens. Anything can work itself out here. Who knows what's going to happen in these last 2 weeks. But in this one, Ed Lager gets the victory over CMC Music Factory, 133.85. And counting. He's got Antonio Gibson going right now to make his score a little bit more respectable. While Justin, nothing respectable about your score this week, I'm sorry to say. 86.95.
I'm just looking at this roster, and I would have bet a lot of money that Darnell Mooney would not be the only person other than the quarterback
in
double digits. Mike Evans, Harris, McCaffrey, Johnson, Dallas Goedert. Yeah, I mean, just not a good week. And then Ben Roethlisberger stinking up the show.
Both your Cardinals, Kyler Murray, James Conner on bye this week.
Yeah.
You haven't had Murray for a couple weeks anyway.
Yeah, not much help on the bench either. So
Rams defense really letting you down. They only scored a couple points this week. Yahoo says 4. That might actually be correct, or maybe 7. Not much more than that.
Well, they lost, so yeah. So not a good week.
Yeah. For Ed Lager, currently he's adding to his total with Gibson, but He had Lamar Jackson go for 27 points, threw a whole bunch of interceptions there in that game. Didn't do too much. His receivers, Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, and T.Y. Hilton. 15.5 for Allen, 13.5 for Cooks, and 12.8 for T.Y. Hilton. They blew the dust off of him, and he managed to get in the end zone for a touchdown this week. DeAndre Swift, only 4 points before going out with an injury. That was on Thanksgiving. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to be back and ready to go here in Week 13 or not. Because I would have guessed there's probably some people thinking about trading for somebody like DeAndre Swift here, but that injury is probably going to scare some people away here these last couple of days. Gibson's currently got 15.2. Fant, 4.2. Saquon, only 9.3. T-Bass, kick his ass, T-Bass. Buffalo kicker gets you about 7.5 points. And then the Bears defense, good matchup for you this week against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving there. Yahoo says 10. You probably got about 15, maybe 20 at the best there. But it was way more than enough, and counting, to get past CMC Music Factory this week.
Yes, indeed. And like we said there, that gets Ed up to 5 and 7, kind of that log jam tied for 7th. He is behind on the points, so he's going to need some help, but got to keep winning. That will knock CMC Music Factory down to 4 and 8.
I believe we can clap Justin out, because you're going to be 4 and 8.
Yep.
Best possible record now is 6 and 8, and that's not going to be good enough for a playoff spot this year, Justin. So sorry to say, goodbye, CMC Music Factory. You can join Gags and Brian, and already looking forward to next year if you weren't doing that already.
All right. Okay, the other matchup here left to talk about is the Biscuits and Porn versus the Shawshank Athletics. I didn't think I had a lot of a chance in this game at all. Then Craig gave me the rundown last night, beginning of Sunday Night Football. And Mark Andrews had, 3 consecutive targets picked off right in a row?
We were watching the game because we knew Mark Andrews was the one that Josh needed. And Lamar Jackson kept throwing passes to him, and they kept being intercepted.
Yep. And then,
every single, 3 in a row.
Yep. And then they started the third quarter there. Mark Andrews made 2 ridiculous catches, and that sealed the deal. And he didn't catch a ball after that. So that was all that was needed to end that Sunday night dream. But let's start with my team. I'll do my team.
All right, fair enough.
161.9 versus Shawshank Athletics 168.65. Tom Brady.
So just under a 7-point difference there.
Yeah. So that Mark Andrews touchdown did it. It's not the first time that's happened to me this year. That seems to happen a lot. Those last guy in with the last catch of the game ends my day.
Pretty standard Biscuits and Porn loss.
Let's see. Tom Brady, 37.5. Didn't need to do much this week with Leonard Fournette going crazy. Devontae Smith, only 4.2 when everybody in Philly disappeared. Claypool, 11.2. Van Jefferson with 18.3.
Actually, 21.3.
21.3, that's right. He had the long touchdown there. Probably should have had a little bit more, but stepped out of bounds and some other goofy crap. Zeke, 16.9 on Thursday. A.J. Dillon, 20 points. Komet, 14.5. Aaron Jones, coming back from injury, 2.3. Wish I would have known.
Did he come back from
Wish I would have just known he wasn't going to really do anything, because there's McKissick sitting there tonight at 18.9. And
18, holy cow.
That and counting, so that was not cool. I would have rather just known he wasn't going to play. Boswell, couple with a field goal and an extra point.
I think his field goal was a 40-yarder, so
and then
Yahoo is correct there.
The New England defense coming through for me again there. Overall, a tough week. Antonio Brown's still out. CeeDee Lamb cleared concussion protocol, then didn't clear concussion protocol, then who knows. But they wide receiver room was a little thin on my team this week. So, but it's all right. We will hang on there in third place, just 2 points behind Disco.
We gotta give Josh a little bit of respect.
Oh yeah, I'm just
run through his team here. He's the one who won this match.
He did win this matchup. So you go ahead and run through that. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
I got you. Herbert goes for just under 52 points. His three receivers, Chase, Cup, and Pittman, 7, 18.5, and 9.5 respectively. Then we got Dalvin Cook and David Johnson. Is David Johnson even still in the league?
He used to be really good.
He used to be really good.
I remember that one year I had him. It was really good. But
Dalvin goes for 14.5 points.
And then goes down.
And then he goes down with a separated shoulder, I think. They probably just, punched it back into place and said, get back out there. But he didn't want to, so I guess he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So, Josh, you might be in the market there for Madison. You got, let's see. Johnson went for 7.5 points. Mark Andrews, again, scored that touchdown. 16.5 points there. Jefferson in the flex, 14.5. Here, kicker, perhaps one of the big factors here in this matchup. Carlson, we actually had to add, because I believe your defensive score for the Saints, 8 was correct. And we actually had to add like 2.5 points to your kicker score. So you actually got like 21.5 points from your kicker, which that might be one of the biggest factors that swung this matchup your way. And you are going, so you're going to take down Biscuits. That is going to move you to 6-6. You're going to stay in 6th place because the Isotopes are now going to be 7-5, right ahead of you. But you are going to be a game ahead of Dub C, Saquon, and Ed Logger. Mm-hmm. But you are way ahead of them in points because you are the overall leader in points for the entire league. So all of those guys who are below you, they are not only below you, they are down there looking up with a long climb to try to catch you there. So,
yeah. I mean, you're one game clear with 2 to go, and you got the points total there. So even if somebody is able to catch you and tie you, you're going to be in the driver's seat. So don't mess it up.
Yes, one more win, and you will pretty much be able to eliminate all of those guys who are going to be currently 5-7. Because if you end up 7-7. Those guys have no chance because your point total is going to be way too far ahead of them. So we're all just kind of sitting back now and hoping that you end up 6-8.
And who does he play? Let's just take a look ahead here. 13.
I think Josh has one good matchup and one bad matchup left.
He's got to play Yins or Jags next week.
Okay, that should be an interesting one.
And then he's got Gags.
Gags, so. Okay.
But
so Detling and Gags, you guys, we're counting on you to knock Josh out of the playoffs and somehow get Jay or Dub C or Ed into the playoffs there. So.
I mean, I was kind of happy that he didn't go over 200 points like he seems to do every week. So
that is true.
He was beatable, but not quite enough. And knowing my luck, I'll start this playoffs in 3rd, and he'll be in 6th. And
I think most of us, even the ones who were already basically clinched a playoff spot, Detling, Disco, Tree, you probably were rooting for Biscuits to win this week and maybe push Josh out of playoff contention, because I'm not sure any of us at this point would be excited about playing Josh if we meet him in the playoffs. Even if he only makes it to like the 6th seed, he's gonna have to win. I don't think any of us. I don't care where you're at in the standings. If you're 1st or you're 5th, you don't want to have to go up against his team the way that they're looking. The potential that they have on a week-to-week basis. They've definitely underperformed several weeks this year, but they
this one still couldn't get it done. That's fine.
Yes, and they still, I believe, might have had the highest score of anybody this year. So at some point, I don't forget what it was, but
yep.
So yeah, you don't want. Not looking forward. I was hoping that Jim could have knocked you down, Josh, this week, but he wasn't able to do it. It's looking way more likely that you are going to get one of those playoff spots here. All right, then we just have this one matchup left to go. That's currently.
I mean, I think
Well, Gags has currently pulled ahead.
I mean, I feel like with like 90% of the pre-Saints reporting, we could probably go ahead and call this one for Gags. I mean, maybe there's a late switcheroo at the end here, but unless Heineke starts throwing like
unless he
5 interceptions here or something.
He pulls a Lamar Jackson and throws.
Or we could get a
couple
DJ Metcalf
interceptions.
Catch here.
Yeah, Metcalf is still at 0, so.
Yeah, is he even playing? I don't even know. He has 1 target. So,
Sally, is Metcalf playing?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Okay, he is in there. There's about 4:18 to go in the third, so.
But Gags has already pulled ahead of you there.
Yep.
Dub C, we'll keep an eye on it just in case.
Probably
But
would
at
need to
this
turn
point,
over,
I don't think it's going to happen. So, Gags already out of the playoffs. He's going to drag you down with him, maybe. Definitely put a big damper on Dub C's playoff hopes after this week. We already got into that a little bit there earlier, talking about you having no tight end this week, no transactions left to do anything. So, currently, we've got Gags at 157.15. Dub C, you're done at 154.3. So, unless something extremely crazy happens, Gags has got this one sealed up. So Heineke currently has about 30.5 points. DK, again, he's still at 0. So, he does anything. He's not going to end the game with 0. So
garbage time.
Yeah, there'll be something here. They're down 2 touchdowns, so there'll definitely be some garbage time coming up here. Some catches for him, I would think. Gallup goes for 15.5 points. Galladay 8. Running backs James Robinson and Matt Breida blowing the dust off another guy this week. 12.5, actually 13.5 for Breida then. Conklin, you went with him. You got rid of Travis Kelce. You got rid of Gronk. Those guys, they were too good for you. Like, I don't need these guys. They scored too many points. I'm gonna pick up Conklin and Uzama. I'm gonna trade for Uzama, and those are the guys who are gonna keep me out of the playoffs this year because I guess you just didn't feel like making it this year.
Well,
It was very kind of you, generous Gags, to loan your playoff spot to somebody else this year. Waddle, one of your good trades this year. 28.7 for him this week. One of the only bright spots on the Miami Dolphins offense. No Butker this week, so you had Badgley from the Indianapolis Colts there. He got you about 8.5, 9 points. And the Buffalo Bills defense. Yahoo says 14, but I'm pretty sure you got jumped up to probably 25, 30 points at least. They did pretty good against the New Orleans Saints there on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, and then over on the Dub C Hooligan side, decided to go with Tua at quarterback instead of Derek Carr.
Playing musical chairs every week.
Yep.
Kevin,
Rearranging those chairs on the Titanic. It's just
ever since Patrick Mahomes disappeared off your roster.
Yeah.
It's been who's Dub C going to play this week?
And
nobody knows.
And right now, that misstep cost you about 10 points, and you would actually be clinging on life support right now.
You didn't think it was safe. You didn't think it was a good idea to try to avoid that Tua to Waddle connection, because whoever has the wide receiver in that connection is the one always has an advantage, because every completion to the wide receiver is more points for that guy than it is for Tua.
Yep, sure is. Bateman coming in with 7 last night. Hollywood Brown 13.1. Patterson 30.5.
Before we get ahead of ourselves much more, can you back me up on this? Who starts 2 Baltimore Ravens wide receivers?
Yeah, that's a pretty ballsy move.
Kevin.
They don't even have
Kevin.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, at least he didn't start Sammy Watkins.
Oh my God, I wouldn't.
I think he's still the waiver wire.
I'd have to walk out of the room. I would.
But yeah, that's a gutsy move. Unless there was
on another team who loves to run the ball. and play defense. They're not
But-
a
but
passing offense.
Honestly, looking at his roster, he didn't really have much to choose from. Cooper's on COVID. Crowder only got 1.5 on the bench, and Jalen Reagor was part of that disappearing Philadelphia Eagles act on Sunday. So he only got 5. So actually, wasn't the worst. He kind of was forced into it. He has no more transactions left. He had to play who he had. So they actually, outside of Patterson, who's in the wide receiver slot, but not a wide receiver anymore, those were the 2 top wide receivers he had. So actually, ballsy move, but necessary move for sure. Down the running back list, it seems like it's all running backs because Patterson's the wide receiver. David Montgomery, 10.4. The aforementioned Josh Jacobs, 19.2.
Not too bad.
Yep, there's Travis Kelce just riding the no-game list. Hunt with just 2 points. Suck up with a couple points there. I don't know if he had looks like mostly just maybe a field goal and a couple PATs. Atlanta defense, 13 points. Looks like maybe got a couple extra off of that. Probably about 10 maybe.
Kind of an interesting
10.
play, the Atlanta Falcons defense.
Yep.
You got Dallas on the bench there.
Yep. You got the Williams out there in Denver, put up 20 points on the bench. You had Boston Scott in the carousel in Philly, who's running the ball this week. So Jalen Hurts got hurt. So David Carr would have definitely put you in the lead right now. And the entire time we've been talking about this, there has been no change on the gag side of the score. So it remains 157.15 to 154.3. So don't think too hard about Dub C, but just hope
Seattle,
he scores more than 164 points.
Seattle currently has the ball, so that's probably why DK is still at 0. Gag's quarterback isn't going up yet, but we still have an entire quarter left to go. So unless Heineke throws nothing but interceptions here, which is probably not going to happen, but they got a lead, so they might not pass too much. But still, it's going to take a lot of highly unlikely events to change the outcome of this matchup here. So I think that is pretty much it.
That is the rundown
for Week 12. Said we're going to have Yinzer Jags is going to jump from 3 to 1 now, thanks to all the other guys who are 8-3, now going to be 8-4. Looks like we're going to have the Topes right behind you guys now at 7-5. After that 1-4 start, all the way up to 7-5. Not to toot my own horn or anything there, but Shawshank Athletics, he's going to be 6-6. He will be alone there in 6th place. And we're going to have Saquon, Dub C, and then Ed Lager. Actually, Ed Lager might even move ahead of Dub C there.
Yeah, he will. He's up about 100 points on him.
Yeah. So, Dub C, you're going to drop all the way to 9, it looks like. And Justin, Gags, and Hillbillies, 10, 11, and 12 there. You guys are going to stay there. Looks like Hillbillies is going to lose, so he'll be 3-9. Gags is going to win. He will actually move ahead. Justin's going to drop to 11th place and be down there in the basement with Brian. I'm sure Justin wouldn't mind being if anybody wouldn't mind being in the basement with Brian, it's definitely Justin. So. And so that's we got only 2 weeks left in the regular season already. Normally, we'd be heading into the last week of the regular season, but of course, as you guys know, we have an extra week now. So we're going through week 14. Just a reminder that this Saturday is the trade deadline. I believe December 4. So you guys we have one more game, Thursday night game. I think it's the Cowboys and Saints. So if you want to trade for any of those guys, you better do it now. Otherwise, before this week's Sunday games, we will be no longer making any trades. So just something to keep in mind there. Normally, the trade deadline would have been a couple days ago, the Saturday right after Thanksgiving there. We're discussing it a little bit on the lineup there. Seemed a little bit unsure what was going on, but just keep in mind, I would say especially Kevin, but you're already done. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the trade deadline is coming up here very quick. Let's take a look real quick, peek ahead to the matchups here in Week 13. See if they're going to have, what kind of playoff implications they're going to have. We got the Topes going up against Possum Magic. So that should be a good one there. Actually, probably trying to catch Possum Magic in the standings there in win totals there if the Topes can knock him off. So that'll be an interesting one to watch as the Topes still try to hold on and at least get one more win and probably secure a playoff spot. What do you got next up in the line there?
Mine shows up is Biscuits and Porn and From Gags to Riches. So
Gags is just trying to play spoiler here.
Yeah, but I can play down there. Don't worry, Gags. I'm good at that.
Then I got CMC versus Saquon. Said CMC once again he's already out of it. Saquon's still fighting, so Justin can either play spoiler here or Jay can try to hold on to hope for one more week.
Yeah, we got Dub C Hooligans and Disco going at it. So Dub C is definitely going to need that win. I will be rooting for Dub C because I do have to play Disco in the last game. So
I'm sure
if I could get a step on Disco, that would be good. But Disco's got his boys back.
Disco would love nothing more than to put the final nail in Dub C's coffin with his Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill connection there. So that's going to be a tough one for you, Kevin. This is a must-win situation for you. Unfortunately, you're going up against Disco this week, so we will see if that trade comes back to bite you in the worst possible way.
Mm-hmm. We got Hillbillies on PCP and Ed Lager. Ed trying to stay alive in that race. He's
basically just like CMC versus Saquon. Hillbillies is out. Ed Lager's still trying to hold on to life for one more week.
Yep, and then the final matchup, which is probably our game of the week, if we're jumping in front of the podcasters there on Thursday, is going to be the Yinzer Jags and Shawshank Athletics.
Oh, that's going to be a dandy of a matchup.
It's already previewing as a close matchup, although that's showing Dalvin Cook with no points, so that'll be a change in the roster there. But that is going to be a tight one, and it is going to be a good one, and we will be...
Yep, Yinzer Jags will be, as we said, he'll be in first place. Josh will now be in sixth, so he's going to be trying to get win number 7 and get that much closer to clinching a playoff spot.
Yeah, I would think that if he pulls out that 7th win with that point total he's got, he's pretty much in at that point. So it'll be a lot of people down below there rooting for Detling.
Nobody likes to root for Detling. But This week, I guess we kind of have to. So,
yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Exactly. So, all right. I think that's pretty much everything for week 12.
That's it. The trophy's out of the shed, back in Craig's possession.
Finally.
Yep.
Right where it belongs for the next couple weeks at least. I get to enjoy it.
So, but that's it.
Sally, we forget anything? No. I didn't think so.
Yeah, and when is the final round? Was that like the week of Christmas?
The Tonto Bowl is actually not until next year.
Oh, so it's after Christmas. We were moving it, so it's like really confusing because it's the 2021 season. Yeah.
Correct. Now it's going to be much like the actual NFL, where the 2021 season is not decided until 2022.
Very nice.
A real pain in the ass. So.
That's all right. That gives at least a couple people time to enjoy their holiday before it comes crashing down to earth.
Exactly. Unlike last year, I got to ruin your Christmas gags, as you may recall. So you guys, I guess, the luxury of it is you get to enjoy your Christmas this year, unless you're the ones. I guess you get eliminated from the Tonto Bowl that week right before Christmas. But
yeah, not good.
No.
So. All right.
Still better than getting to the Tonto Bowl and losing, although I don't really know what that's like. So,
oof. And just for the record, Gags' points total is going up, so safe to say that.
Okay, yeah, Gags has gone up a little bit here since we last checked in here. Although Metcalf still has 0.
Yes, but the the football team has the ball, and it looks like Heineke is slinging it around out there. Although now they're punting, so it's going back to Metcalf. So anyway,
So, all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Eastern PA mobile edition of the Tonto's Demise recap. Whether you watch or listen to the show, whatever it is you do, if anybody even pays attention or even gets to this point in the reviews, I don't even think so most of the time. So, we will see you back again to review the events of Week 13 this time next week. Hopefully, all of your teams and all your players meet or exceed expectations. Nobody gets hurt, and we all enjoy a fantastic Week 13. And we'll see how the playoff standings shake out. I'm sure we are going to have things are going to be much more clear after this week than before. Even though this week, I think with Josh getting that win and the Topes and Josh winning both kind of makes the playoff picture pretty clear. But at this, anything can happen. We never want to say for sure this far ahead of the time what's going to happen. So, but it's looking like the playoff picture is pretty much falling into place already here. So, all right, guys.
All right.
On behalf of the Springfield Isotopes,
biscuits and porn.
we will see you here next week. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.